What's happening, fellas? Crazy Brit here, and we're back with some more MRC action. This time it's race 2 from round 7 of the Gttcc. These are the elite boys. So we'll run you through the grid after the race 1 reversed results. So up in top position is Scott in the Citroen. Second is Busby Boy in the Genesis. Then we have Shortsky in third in the Citroen. Fourth is Gary in the Genesis. Then we have Big Kev in the Citroen in fifth. Sixth is Fast JMS in the Honda. Then seventh is Citroen of James. Lined up in eighth is Dimpy in the Honda. And last but not least, in the Citroen, lined up in ninth, race 1 winner is Scotty Boy. So let's get this action underway for you at Tokyo. 5 lights out, and away we go then. Race 2 underway, everyone gets away cleanly. So we head down to the first turn. We're going side by side with most of the guys. Turn 1 is going to be a problem area, possibly. Looks like they all get away cleanly through the first couple of corners. Here we go. Now through the second turn. Very nice lead on from the guys here. Scott's going to be wanting to get a good result here after the race 1. As we head down to the hairpin for the first time. Looks like we get all through cleanly. No little bumps or anything there. Nice little bit of overtaking there from the guys as well. So run you through the grid then as to the first couple of corners. Scott's leading the way from Shortsky in second. Busby Boy down to third. Big Kev now in fourth. Gary there in fifth. We've got James in sixth in the Citroen right behind him. Then we have seventh Dimpy. Great start. 1 position gained. There's JMS down to 8th and Scotty Boy in 9th at the back. So as we now come to right-hander, then we go down the hill to the chicane. Scott leading the way. Keep an eye out for this. This is a major overtake opportunity here. And then we're going to come out through the chicane, round the final turn, which is pretty much flat for most of the cars, to complete the lap as we head it down now, down the main straight. See Busby Boy there, Shortsky, Scott trying to make a break from it. Big battle here. Scotty Boy now up into 6th. Oh, a little bit of a bump and a barge there in the first corner. Let's just have a look, see what happened to James there, because he was up into 6th position. Lost a couple of positions through this last little sector here, so let's see what happened. So, a little bit of a bump there through the turn here. Dimpy and James gets into it. That's what cost him a few positions there. Now head for the chicane. Dimpy does wait up, so great sportsmanship from him. James does run a bit wide and get the penalty there as he goes for the chicane, so that's what happened to James there. But back up to the front, Scott leading the way, then Shortsky there in second, Busby Boy in third. Then we've got this big gaggle of cars here as we head through the turn 1. A little bit of a wall touch there, so it wasn't bumping and barging, I thought it was, sorry about that. Just Scotty Boy got into the wall there. So we head through these couple of corners here. Oh, gotta be careful. Kev glances the wall there, that's going to slow him up for the next little section as we head down to the hairpin. Nearly 3 wide there as we go into the hairpin. Scotty on the inside gets the move done. So, Gary had to move over there, was about to go in the wall. So we head through, there's Dimpy at the rear as well after waiting up for James. So let's go side by side with Gary and Kev through the tunnel. We're also side by side. Oh, JMS just gets in front of Scotty Boy there as we come through. If I do miss any incidents or overtakes on this track, I do apologise, but there's, even with 9 people, there's lots going on. Oh, Gary's into the wall there. Can he get saved by Big Kev there? James is going to come through and serve his penalty after the chicane. Oh, JMS, what did you do there? Let's go on board with JMS as he goes through the chicane here. So, makes himself big in his mirrors, just gets on the curb there. Oh, smashes into the wall, little bump there. That's going to drop him down to 9th now. Unfortunate for JMS, he looks strong. See if he can gather his car back up and slowly catch that gap back up to 8th position. So back up to the front, then Scott still in the way. There's Shortsky in second, right behind him, hot on his heels. There's Scotty Boy all the way up into 3rd already. Great start from him on the first couple of laps. There's Busby Boy now down to 4th in that Genesis. Big Kev there in 5th. Same purple sector times. He's got Dimpy right behind him as we now head down into the hairpin. Let's see what happens here. So no major overtake as of yet. There's James in 8th with a familiar face behind him again. Got JMS right behind him, so this will be a race-long battle for them again. Oh, back up to the front, Scott leading the way, getting caught slightly by Shortsky there in 2nd. There's Scotty in 3rd, with Busby Boy in 4th in his slipstream. There's Big Kev and Dimpy, 5th and 6th. Coming through the tunnel now. Dimpy's going to want to tuck right behind him. Is he going to try and overtake into the next corner up the hill? He's on the outside. Flashing the lights. Oh no, it's just the lights turning off through the tunnel. There's Dimpy, gets that position done. A little glance of the wall there. That's going to slow him up for the next corner as Kev is on the inside for the chicane. Great racing from these two. So Kev gets that position back again. Back up into 5th. So Dimpy there still behind Big Kev as we now are on lap 4 into the first couple of corners. Little glance of the wall there. You will see that a lot on this race. Walls are very close. It's basically the Japanese version of Monaco here. We've got everything. We've got great sights. We've got a hairpin. We've got a tunnel section. Something that Monaco doesn't have though is a pit lane in a building. So we don't have the Marina of Monaco, but we have the bullet train and an indoor pit lane. Who needs Monaco? Plus we've also got a really long straight as well, which will give slipstreaming opportunities for these guys. There's a little bit of lag there from Dimpy, but it's not too bad. As we now head through the tunnel section, out of the tunnel we go. Now up the hill. You see big moves in the background. We've got James on Gary. James gets that stint on the inside. Can he get the move done? He does. Lovely stuff from him. Another livery change on that Citroen as well. Love the colour. Gets a little bit on that curb there. Is that going to be a penalty for him? Doesn't look like it's going to be. I think he got away with it that time. But we're going to go back up here because Dimpy Limpy is still behind Big Kev for 4th position. These guys are battling. Oh, sideways action from Scotty Boy there in the first corner. But it seems okay now. Just a little bit of a drift there. So Big Kev still holding off Dimpy. Dimpy's right there. Busby Boy now in 6th, coming under fire now from James in 7th. James right behind him. Can he get a move done into the hairpin? Just sits behind him for the minute as they go through. Oh no, we got Big Kev. Big Kev's had an accident. Let's have a see what happened to him. So coming through the hairpin. Does he just light up the rears of the hairpin then? So lovely, and yeah, just lights it up too much. And into the wall he goes. Unfortunate for him. That's going to drop him down all the way to 9th. That's going to put JMS up into 8th. Gary's there behind James. So is Busby Boy going to get attacked down to the next corner? That Citroen is really good on the straight line stuff. There's ahead now through the tunnel. Twisting like a snake as he goes left to right. Is James going to go for another send on this corner? He is. This one looks like his favourite corner to overtake, but Busby Boy's still there on the outside. But James gets the overtake done, gives him plenty of room, but Gary's coming through as well. Doesn't get the overtake done this time. Doesn't bounce over the chicane. So James now up into 5th. 4th is Dimpy right behind Shortsky, who's down to 3rd now as we go side by side down the main straight. Is Dimpy, yep, he gets the overtake done before the first corner. Lovely low, a little bit of a dink on the wall there. That's going to slow him up a little bit. He's now come through turn 2 and 3. Fast chicane there, now through turn 4. So Dimpy up into 3rd. He's going to want to try and latch onto the back of that Citroen up in front. Scotty Boy couldn't really get a battle going with him in the first race. Can he get a battle with him in this race? So Scott's in first, pulling away from the rest of the pack. But can these guys work together, get closer to him, close that gap? Oh, I didn't mean to mention in the first race we have Bogger and Surfer missing this race, and Speedy Spud as well is missing as well this week, unfortunately. Hopefully they're back for the final round next week and fill out the grid for 12 drivers. But looks like Dimpy and Scotty are going side by side through this corner here. Dimpy on the outside there. Can he get the move done as he go down to the chicane? He can. He's ahead there. Scotty Boy gives in the corner then. Great stuff. Backs out of that. Don't want to go too wide through the chicane. But there's Scotty coming straight back past him. He's on the inside. Keeps it out of the wall. They're going door to door. Gets the move done. Back up into 2nd. So lovely stuff from these two then. Great battle. They're still side by side ahead now into the first turn. Can Dimpy hang it round the outside? No, he can't. Scotty gets the position then. Gets the move done, but Dimpy's right there. Great battle for 2nd here. Now head back down the hill then. Down towards the hairpin. Dimpy's there. Is he going to make a big send on the hairpin? He thinks better of it. Just stays behind him as we come through the hairpin. Gets a good exit, both of them. He's right behind him still. Can he get the slip he needs as we head through the tight, twisty tunnel section? He's looking like he's going to go side by side with him. Has he got the speed to do it? Wing mirror to spoiler. Side by side now as they come. Plenty of space left by both of these guys. Lovely respect as well. So he's on the outside. Can he get the move done around the outside again? Oh, a little bit of a touch of ball there. That's going to slow him up for the next corner, which is the chicane. Shortsky right there behind him, licking his lips as well. As they come through the chicane, it's very tense stuff at the minute for these three guys. Got Dimpy there, still in third. Oh, touch of the wall from Shotsky. That's going to slow him up as well. There's James in fifth. He's going to catch up to him now. Close that gap up. There's Gary in sixth. And then Leroy in seventh. There's JMS in eighth now behind them, and Kev is catching up as well in ninth position. So it's all hauling up between these guys now from second to ninth. But Dimpy there, still in third, right behind second. Now come for the next corner. Got to watch that. Those barriers that come across. Now down into the hairpin. Gets the inside line for both of them. Nice exit there. Use the curb. Don't use it too much or it will spit you out onto that wall as well. So now coming down the back straight then. Dimpy is still there in Scotty Boy's slipstream. And they head out of the tunnel then. Dimpy is trying to get the outside move done again. Can he get it done this time? Keeping out of the wall. Oh, he's so close to that wall. And he goes side by side to the chicane. Scotty Boy's got the inside. Dimpy's going to have to concede that one this time. Closes him to slow up a little bit. That creates a little bit of a gap for him. In third. So battle over for the minute. Hopefully Dimpy can stay in his slipstream and get back up to him. There's Shortsky and James. James going for the overtake. Looks like he's got it done. Back up into fourth he goes. Great stuff from these two. Citroen on Citroen. Through the twisty stuff. Now through the next corner. But Shortsky's right there behind him. Could be an overtake opportunity for Shotsky as we head down to the hairpin, but Dimpy and Scotty Boy are there already, side by side, door banging as they go through the hairpin then. Dimpy on the outside line, doesn't get the move done, but he's right behind him. Then we've got another battle here with James and Shotsky. Then we've got Gary and Kev once again battling for 6th and 7th. And Flash JMS is there in 8th, and Busby Boy has an incident somewhere. He's back down to 9th. Unfortunate for him. Scott there leading the way in first, got a sizable gap. But back down to Dimpy and Scotty. Dimpy's got back past Scotty. Can get my words out. As they come now through the corner, the right corner, down to the skin. So Dimpy up into second then. A lovely battle for these guys. We come through the skin. Keeps off those yellow curbs. Is Scotty Boy going to attempt an overtake into turn 1? He's right behind him. And James and Shotsky just coming through as well. Scotty Boy looks like he's going for the inside. Is he going to get a move done? Side by side as they head through turn 1. He gets that move done on the inside, but Dimpy's right there behind him. Lovely, lovely stuff from these guys. Oh, touch of the wall for Dimpy. That's going to cost him down to the hairpin. Hopefully it doesn't cost him too much. As we see them now head down to the hairpin. Lap 10 already. Running just past halfway in the race. That's a good exit for both these guys, so the battle continues. There's James and Shotsky right behind as well. Kev still leaning away from Gary in 6th. Then we've got Flash JMS just behind these two, and Busby Boy starting to close that gap up to JMS in 9th. Back up to the front, Scott still leaning away by a sizable amount, but this is where the battle is here. Scotty Boy just edging out on Dimpy a little bit. The gap starting to open a little bit, but Dimpy is right there in his slipstream, so if he keeps it on out of the walls, should be able to get back up to him in no time. So like I said, this race is all about slipstream. If you lose that slip, then it's pretty much all over, unless someone makes a major incident. Oh, Dimpy's got off a second penalty. That's going to cost him on the next lap. Now he's going to be really on it. For his point of view, he's got to get an overtake done on Scotty on this lap, so it doesn't cost him too much on the next lap. He will lose the position, but at least he'll be closer. But if he doesn't, if it stays like this, he's going to lose that ground and possibly fall into the clutches of James and Shortsky. With the penalty line where it is, it's going to cost you all down the main straight. Bit of a gap at the minute to James from Dimpy, so he could still hold on to third position. He dinks the wall though. That's going to cost him all the way down here. See if he can stay in that slipstream and not lose as much ground as he would do. These guys are starting to catch Scott, who's just up in front, going through the tunnel now. So Scotty Boy then there in second, still holding on to that position. Purple sector time. Fastest lap at the minute is a 141.9 from Big Kev. He's got all that slipstream. So now head down to chicane for these two. We're going to focus on James though. Can he get the move done on Dimpy, as Dimpy is going to save that penalty? Bounces over the curve through the chicane. There's Big Kev in sixth, just behind these two. He's catching up then. So Dimpy serving the penalty now. There's James. How close is he going to be to Dimpy as we go across the line? Gets a little bit of a ground up on him, but not too much. There's Shortsky behind now, a gap forming to him in fourth and fifth. So now come through the S's. Gotta be careful here, not to touch the walls as we now come through. Now down the hill into the braking zone for the hairpin. Little touch wide for James there. There's an apex there somewhere. That's going to close the gap for him and Shortsky. Shortsky now right behind him in his slip. And there's Kev as well. So back down to 7, Gary there. Then we've got JMS in 8th, falling off him as well. And there's Busby Boy with half second penalty. That'll cost him at the end of this lap. But back up to the front. Scott leading the way. Second, Scotty now starting to break away from Dimpy behind him third. I said that penalty cost him a little bit of a gap, but if he stays on it, he could potentially catch back up to Scotty. Oh, but hits the wall out the exit there. That's going to cost him massively there. Doesn't get damaged though as he comes through the chicane. Keeping off the runoff area there. You won't get a penalty. Now coming through the final corner. See, James has got half a second penalty as well this time. Those penalties costing, as there's Big Kev as well. Now, sneaks past side by side with Shortsky, gets the overtake done into the first turn. So Big Kev up into 5th, Shortsky now down to 6th as we come through the S's. So Big Kev is now looking towards James, his next target. Keeps on it like this, he's going to get another position when James serves that penalty at the end of this lap. As we head down into the hairpin, Scotty Boy just coming out. There's Dimpy just coming through now. Gets the exit he needs on that corner. A little bit of twitch from Shortsky behind Big Kev there. We'll go back down, so Genesis of Gary in 7th. There's JMS going into the pits. So JMS pitting, Busby Boy coming out the pit, out the hairpin. He's in 8th position. Interesting strategy there from Fast JMS. It feels like those soft tyres aren't giving him the grip required. So comes out the pits. That's going to cost him a lot of time, but it's going to be a ninth position if he doesn't make any more overtakes. And Scott there in first, now starting to come under pressure. You can see that gap now starting to close. Scotty there in second. There's Dimpy in third. James now is going to lose that fourth position to Big Kev when he serves his penalty. We'll see if he loses any position to Shortsky. Is there in fifth. It's going to be close. It's now come across the line. We're already inside the last 10 minutes. We're at 22 minutes and 45 seconds. So close again, once again for James and Shortsky after he lost that fourth position. Come through the S's, down through turn 4. Now we go down the hill to the hairpin. Oh, Shortsky a little bit late there. Looks like he was going to go down the pit lane then. That was a bit late, but gets the turn done and gets a drive off in the slipstream of James. Let's keep our eyes on this and just look at the guys at the back. Gary there in 7th, Busby Boy in 8th, and there's JMS in 9th after pitting. So back up to the front then, Scott in still in first position in the Citroen, racing for Gulf and Cancer Research. There's Scotty racing for Mind and McDonald's in second. Just watching him come through the chicane there. He's definitely going to want to try and close that gap to Scott in the first. There's Dimpy in third. Oh, another half a second penalty for him. That's going to cost him. He's racing for Mobile 1 and Infinity. Oh, it's RSPCA, sorry, just got the Infinity decals on. There's Big Kev, RSPCA. Got the prostate. Cancer for Les on there as well. He's racing for RSPCA and not sure what the second one is. Is it Infinity or is it Mobile? No, it's Infinity. So RSPCA and Infinity for both these guys. It's not Mobile 1. Mobile 1 is just the other sponsor. James then there racing for the Help the Heroes and LG in 5th position. There's Shortsky racing for Samsung and Macmillan Cancer Support. Important, very important charity, goes alongside cancer, help those who are suffering and diagnosed with cancer, help support them. There's Gary in 7th. I believe he's racing for Macmillan and Samsung as well. Yep. 8th, Busby Boy, he's racing for Gulf and Cancer Research as well. And there's JMS in 9th, racing for Nike and We Are Driven. Do a lot of good stuff. We Are Driven, help support lots of multiple charities. So check them out on Facebook and on the interwebs. But back up to the front then, Scott leading the way, but that gap is coming down. You can see Scotty Boy just in the background there as the sun has started to set. We probably will finish this race in night time as we're now past the 25-minute mark, so this race is almost done. Big Kev now up into third after getting past Dimpy Limpy. Dimpy serving that penalty, so it's looking like it's going to be a good finish for Kev after the half spin he had at the hairpin. There's James down into 5th. There's Shortsky 6th position right behind him. Gary there in 7th, followed by Busby in 8th, and Flash JMS in 9th, just racing the train there. But back up to the front, we'll have a look of this little battle that's probably going to brew if Scotty Boy can get that gap closed to Scott. So Scotty on Scott. Let's see if they can close his gap up and have a little battle before the end of the race. A big Kev there in the third. Dimpy just behind him. Might be able to get some slipstream and get a last couple of laps. Little battle with these two. I'll see how this one goes. There's James and Shortsky in the background there. So battles for the podium and for fourth place at the minute. Oh, for the third and the fifth, should I say. Let's see if Dimpy can catch Big Kev up. As I'd say, we've probably got about 2 more laps for these guys to do. Final 2 laps here. They will get themselves onto another lap after this one. Kevin now coming through turn 4. He's kind of settled down now in his latter stage of the race now. The battles have fizzled out, but there's Scotty Boy just coming through the hairpin. There's Scott just coming out of it, so that gap is coming down. Tyre wear is pretty the same for these two. Same with Kev and Dimpy, it's pretty much the same. Shortsky back past James, what's happened there? So, James on the inside then coming down to the hairpin. James just lets him through, does he? Does he lift off? Just have a look what happened here then. So coming through the couple of corners, coming through the S's here. Oh, hits the wall, gets damaged, that's why he gets through. Doesn't have the speed because of the damage. Stays on the inside, so that's going to allow Shortsky then through on James. James has also got a half-second penalty, which is going to compound that fact as well. That's going to hurt him in the latter stage of the race. Unfortunate for him. He looks strong. Go up into fourth, got a couple of penalties and got the damage now. But should be a solid result of 6th position if nothing else happens. So go back up to the front there. There's the gap between Scott and Scotty. Not a lot as we're going to head on to the final lap. Can Scott hold on to the first position there? Oh, gets a little bit squirrely off the curbs there. There's Scotty. Does he get a penalty for that runoff area there? I'll have to see. Did he just escape with it? There's the bullet train going through as they come through the main straight. Gets away with the penalty then. So there's Kev in third, followed by Dimpy in fourth. Heading on to the final lap. Shortsky there in fifth. There's Jim serving his penalty in 6th position. Going to cost him a little bit, but he's still thereabouts. 7th, Gary coming through. And we got Busby Boy 8th. He's got a half-second penalty. He should be able to make it on to a final lap. Tough old race for the Genesis there, but yeah, the Citroen is pretty much OP around here. And the Honda's pretty solid too. So he makes it onto the final lap. There's JMS, coming through the chicane. He's not going to get onto the final lap, so we'll just watch him come across the line. He's going to finish in 9th position. Couldn't get the fastest lap. Tried the fast lap with soft tyres, but wasn't meant to be. So good result for him. Well, it's not a good result. It's a decent result, should we say? He could, for him, he probably wanted more out of the race, but at least it's a top 10 with only 9 people racing. But back up to the front then. Scott leaned away. Oh, a little bit dink of the wall. Is that going to cost him through this section here? Should have enough to finish the race in first. It's going to be very, very close between these two as we come across through the final corner. Down the main straight. Scotty is going to win then from Scotty Boy in second. So first and second for them. So decent result for Scott after the first race. Third is going to be Kev, followed by Dimpy Limpy in fourth. Shots is going to come home to finish in fifth. Ahead of James in 6th position. Gary is going to come across then and finishing 7th in the Genesis, and then followed by Busby Boy coming around the final turn now. Oh, gets home second pulley as well, but it ain't going to matter. He finishes in 8th position. So good race from these guys once again. A couple of guys could have got better results, but certain things in the race happened, and it just wasn't meant to be this time. So without further ado, then we'll run you through the current standings after race round 7. So currently, Scooter Boy is leading the way on 225 points. Then we got Boggart in second with 205. Third is James on 196. Fourth is Craig, not Craig, sorry. It's Craig's son Ben Dimpey on 163. In fifth is Shortsky with a 150. Then we have Scotty in sixth on 138. Then we have Gary on 135. Then 119 points is Duncan in 8th position. 113 is Craig Hunt, Busby Boy in 9th. Then we have Evan Surfer on 97, sorry. Then we have 11th Kevin O'Reilly, he's got 95. And then we have Speedy Spud in 12th on 86 points. So that's going to round out the points there. So until next week for the final, I've been the Crazy Brit. See you.